Hey Epic Fails, Bobby Black from the Unscored Circle in collaboration with WrestlingRevolution.com, the Epic Center for all your wrestling needs. Coming back to you with another Smackdown review, and I'd just like to say that I'd like to thank my new subscribers, which is Bizarre World Order, The Reaping 2113, The Jazzman 1188, and The Webby Experience. And Webby Experience, whatever your name is, I would just like to let you know that no, I do not do private sessions. No, I don't want to know what the Webby Experience really is. And stop messaging me. I get you're a fan, but geez, that's way too much. Anyway, probably lose that one, but whatever. I'd like to thank people who left comments on my videos last week, which was Classic 1333, Grim, Wrestling Show, The Reaping 2113, Howard the Man, Johnny Awesome 24, DW Squirtle, and then I would also like to thank Ecstasy and Classic 1333 for leaving their comments on my Triple Threat Thought from last week, which I'll be doing from time to time again on this channel, but I'd like for you guys to leave your comments on both my reviews and my Triple Threat Thoughts, just because I put a little bit of effort into them, so I'd appreciate your guys' opinions, even if it's just a quick little one-liner and whatnot. I love to interact with you guys. Also, speaking of interaction, go to WrestlingRevolution.com, is where I'm primarily stationed out of, although I have my YouTube channel, and we all have our YouTube channels, but you can see website-exclusive content. We have forums, live chats, blog TV, blog talk radio, all those things. Check it out on the site. Plus, we have our pay-per-view prediction contest, Season 4, starting back up next month, where you can win. The first place prize is TNA Breaking Point 2005, the DVD, and the DVDs for Bound for Glory 2005 through 2009. So at least you're guaranteed to get some good ones in there. Okay. Also, I'd like to let everybody know about Hack Week. Is going to be the first week in October. We're all gonna hack it up. So if you have a collar, give a holler. And I guess let's just get into SmackDown before this drags on too long.
Get ready for the Smackdown! Get ready for the Smackdown! How you gonna react when you're put on your back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the Smackdown!
This week's SmackDown is in Toledo, Ohio. We start off with an in-ring promo where Mark Henry talks about the Hall of Pain, which I've already seen the WWE's little graphic on their website or whatever about the Hall of Pain, which consists of Big Show, Kane, Vladimir Kozlov, which are legitimate, Sheamus, which is like, Sheamus isn't really gone. Who else was on there? And then Randy Orton with a question mark after this week with the SmackDown. It's just kind of like, you might want to put some more people on that list. I mean, there's some impressive names on there. Show, Kane, and Vladimir. Sheamus is pretty impressive, but, I mean, really, Sheamus didn't skip a beat. He just wore tape on his body for a week. So, and he says he's going to win the world title. Yeah, like we didn't all hear that before. Zack Ryder comes out and he says that Teddy Long told him that that Henry and Randy Orton are going to have matches tonight, but not against one another. There's also a no-touch clause on one another, that they can't touch each other or interfere during each of their matches. So, Mark Henry then plays around with Zack Ryder for a little bit. He's like, I mean, oh, you afraid of me? He's like, who do you think is going to win it out of champions? And Zack Ryder's like, well, if I say Randy Orton, you're going to squish me, bro. So, and then, of course, Zack Ryder gets squished. Which leads into our first match of the night, which is Mark Henry versus Big Zeke Jackson. I gave this 1 out of 5 Black Rangers. I didn't like this match too much. I didn't think it delivered too well, especially for these two. Zeke is really a young talent that's good. He can move in the ring, and they really, with Mark Henry dominating Zeke pretty much the whole time, it took a lot away from the match because Mark Henry dominated, which is fine, but you just can't expect a guy like Big Zeke to get dominated just like that. And they basically almost squashed Zeke. So it wasn't very impressive. I wasn't really impressed with the way things were booked. But I did like the fact that at the beginning of the match they started with the test of strength, which is something you don't see very often anymore. So I kind of like that angle that they started it. But after Henry dominated most of the match, 2 World's Strongest Slams and a splash later, Mark Henry gets the 3 count. So It was nothing very impressive, really. Next, we go to a backstage segment with Teddy Long and Oksana, which is another one of these dumb segments where she's like talking about things that she can do with her mouth, like sing. And so Teddy freaks out because he's never been with a woman, and he says that he needs to go check on Zack Ryder after the Mark Henry beating. Okay, like that's believable. Teddy Long's a playa, but yet he's afraid of Oksana. Don't like that. Next, second match of the night, which is Sin Cara 2.0 versus Tyson Kidd. I gave this 2 out of 5 Yellow Rangers. It was an match. The reason why I gave it 2 is just because it didn't have enough time. There wasn't enough in this match. There was a couple good moves, but these two can deliver so much better. I still am not very impressed with Sin Cara 2.0, although he was a little bit better tonight. And I kind of like the heel turn that he's been doing. Because after the match, Michael Cole Jr., a.k.a. Josh Matthews, gets in the ring, and he tries to interview Sin Cara, and everyone thinks Sin Cara only speaks Spanish, which 1.0 only did speak Spanish. So, then all of a sudden, Sin Cara 2.0 starts talking. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't know you knew English. And he just cuts a heel promo really saying that, he's coming here to dominate and crap like that. So, Brian comes out and says that they have a problem, because obviously Sin Cara kicked him in the head last week, and challenged him to a match. Sin Cara 2.0 basically laid him out and put him in the LaBelle lock. So locked him in his own finisher, and so basically setting up what I think is going to happen is it might even be a bonus match at Night of Champions. It might be Daniel Bryan versus Sin Cara 2.0 with Sin Cara 1.0 making the save. So, alright, so next up we go to a backstage promo where basically Orton says that he's going to RKO Henry, or, Mark Henry's unpredictable and dangerous, but the one way to counteract that is an RKO, Randall Keith Orton. It was a pretty lame segment. Third match of the night, which is the Divas match, or the piss break of the night. Kelly versus Natalya. I give this, and I might get flack from some people on this, but I gave it a 3 out of 5. Pink Rangers. Natalya carried this match definitely. Kelly didn't do too bad. I disagree with the person who won. However, I don't disagree with the way she won it. Kelly, in the end, Natalya was going for a sharpshooter, and then Kelly hit a, when she was crossing the legs and going to turn her over, Kelly got her into a small package and pinned her. So, not a bad way to win a match. I mean, it's believable that way that she reversed something to win. It's those, matches where, Kelly dominates. Pretty much Natalya dominated this match, which was the way to go. I wish Natalya would have won. I know D. Jose wishes his wife Natalya would have won, but whatever. Next, we have an in-ring segment where Christian comes out and he complains and whines about what happened last week, the week before, the week before that, week before that, week before. And, this is kind of like the stale angle that they're using with Christian, which really kind of ticks me off. Then Sheamus comes out and makes fun of Christian, saying something about blowing hot air out his arse and stuff like that, and whatever. Then he tells Christian that he's that he's out of everything, out of excuses, out of matches, out of rematches, and then he said, and you're gonna get out of my ring, or get out of the ring. And Christian just walks out. He gets all scared and walks out. It's like, really? Oh gosh. I mean, yeah, it's his character at this point, but it's just like, dude, really, you guys suck balls. You're killing Christian for me. Fourth match, which leads into the fourth match of the night, which is the feud I want to see that apparently is not going to happen. It's just going to be a bunch of matches that lead to nowhere, which is Sheamus versus Wade Barrett. I gave it 2 out of 5 Red Rangers. It was a good heavyweight match. I would have probably given it a high 3, low 4 if they would have continued. It all would have depended on the end. But in this case, the end was Christian coming in and getting Wade Barrett DQ'd by jumping Sheamus for apparently pawning him earlier. And then Sheamus fought off both Barrett and Christian. He broke kicked Barrett, and then he went after Christian and, went to put him in the Celtic Cross, and Christian got out of the ring and ran again. So, I hate the way they're doing this. But I would like to see a Sheamus-Barrett feud. I've been wanting to see that match forever. Alright, so next up we got the fifth match of the night, which is the token tag match. I'm going to call them token tag matches from now. Which is Air Boom, Kofi Kingston, and Evan Bourne, which is the dumbest name in the world, versus the Great Khali and Jinder Mahal. I gave this 3 out of 5 White Rangers. because it was a decent tag team match, and I know a lot of people hate the Great Khali, but I think the Great Khali is really good in the tag division. I like the fact that they're teaming Mahal with Khali, because if you think about it, Mahal's still a pretty big guy. Just standing next to the Great Khali dwarfs everybody. So it was a pretty good match. A lot of miscommunications, obviously, between Mahal and the Great Khali. I don't know why they're doing that. It seems like they're trying to break this team up before it even gets started. But the Great Khali shoved Mahal, and then Kofi hit a Trouble in Paradise and got the win. So 3 out of 5 White Rangers. Pretty good match. 6th match of the night, which is definitely by far the match of the night. Randy Orton versus the dashing one, Cody Rhodes. I gave this 4 out of 5 Green Rangers. This was a good, solid match. 2 young guys, and yes, I still consider Orton young. 2 young guys who can really go in the ring. Orton is going to be around for a while. Cody Rhodes is the future of the WWE. He's definitely going to be at least a world champion eventually here, because his gimmick is just taking him leaps and bounds from legacy. And these 2 guys are just great in the ring together. They've worked together a lot. They know each other's moves and their repertoire and everything. So these 2 guys really worked well together in this match. It was very crisp, very clean. I don't remember a single botch. These guys pretty much knew what each other was thinking when they were thinking it. In the end, Rhodes went for a beautiful disaster in the corner on Randy Orton. Orton ducks a beautiful disaster as Cody Rhodes turns around. Randy Orton hit the RKO for the win. So, clean finish, not bad. Afterward, Mark Henry comes out and dominates the crap out of Randy Orton, sitting on a chair on top of Orton and saying that he could have broken him, but he's gonna wait. He wants the world title at Night of Champions. What did I give the night as a whole? I gave the night as a whole 3 out of 5 Blue Rangers. It's kind of a low. The main event was good. The Divas match was decent, believe it or not. The Christian thing really ticked me off. Sheamus Wade Barrett was I mean, the opening bout stunk, in my opinion. And even that Sin Cara Tyson Kidd match kind of stunk. I mean, it was just not that great of a night. Decent storytelling, so that's why it probably gets 2 out of 1. It's a low. It gets a 3 instead of a 2. It's a low 3, high 2, if anything. So anyway, that's it. That's my review of SmackDown this week. Thank you everybody for watching, and please comment, like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy.